Hey everyone, welcome back to Lucifer Within Us. If you saw my last post, I messed up the recording of the audio again, and I lost all of my natural reactions, and I thought about doing it again, or maybe going into a game and manually grabbing the recording, but that's a lot of work, so instead I decided to bring in a friend. Introduce yourself.
It's me. I'm Max. I don't know. I don't remember the last time I was on a video of yours. It was like what, the Alan Wake one?
Indivisible.
Indivisible? Oh my god, that was a
Yeah,
hundred years ago.
It's been about a year. We did Indivisible after Alan Wake.
Yeah.
Because we moved over to the Starlight channel.
Yes.
Okay, so we're playing The Last Case of Lucifer Within Us. Max is not up to date.
I don't know anything about this fucking game.
I did not give them a rundown like I thought I was going to.
Look, we're busy playing Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, we would have recorded this last week, but Tears of the Kingdom. Okay. Poisoned by Father Augustine against me, Abbot Gregory ordered I remain outside the chapel for his mass.
No, so the regular like Catholic Church. Okay, I see.
This is all like techno-religious, and it's so cool.
Oh, okay.
Also, I believe Frida Wolf does the voice of Ada.
Ooh.
Where's Abbot Gregory? What interrupted?
Yeah, that's her. She has. Yeah, that's her.
The Abbot. His death was the interruption. A third murder, I'm afraid.
Also, Virgil is our best friend. He has been with us through each of the cases, helping us out.
Oh, cool.
The lights went out during Mass. Moments later,
You're playing as a character, right?
We're Ada.
Oh, okay.
Impaling Abbot Gregory with its spear.
The tattoos on their foreheads indicate like their position and rank within the church.
Oh.
See how hers is really fucking fancy?
Yeah.
An assassination, then. But why? We must determine who is possessed immediately. Examining the facts will reveal Ein Sof's truth. How was the statue held in place?
Due to its weight, we had to rely on using aether-powered restraints to hang it above the altar. Which means the killer must have sabotaged the 2 power generators on the balcony floor. There were only 2 people on the balcony during the Mass. I've detained them for interrogation. I've sent the pilgrims back to town, lest they panic and disturb the evidence.
Excellent work, Virgil. Who are the suspects? You said there were 2.
You already know them. Brother Gideon and Father Augustine.
So, in our first case, the tutorial case, it was between Gideon and Reuben, because they were trying to set up a new Holy Mother with a circlet that would have be bound permanently to her head to increase her charisma and talking power. But you find out that the limiter was removed and her head exploded.
Wow.
And you find out that Reuben did it because he was jealous of Gideon getting all of the praise and notice.
Huh.
Since you are a key witness to the events, I will of course hear your testimony as well.
We met Father Augustine. We heard about him in the first case, but we met Father Augustine in the second case, where you found it was the burial of Mother Miriam, but then Augustine's acolyte, his follower, was in the grave. You find out the medical examiner killed him, took out his liver, and started eating it.
Okay.
Ein Sof show us the truth behind all of today's events.
Okay, so this is a point-and-click game.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is that we're going to talk to each of them. So there's the person who was killed. Abbot Gregory, absolute asshole. He is a dick. He's also dead. But before we talk to 3 of them, we're going to go ahead and gather physical evidence. That way we can present the evidence to try and contradict what we were told.
Huh, interesting. Almost like... I have no idea where it's going with.
Make all the comparisons you want.
It's like, oh, wow, interesting. Almost like Phoenix Wright.
Also, we've been finding the devil's herb this entire time.
Okay, when you say devil's herb...
Oh, she is like, this is the devil's herb. Ada is like, we need to purge the cathedral of this immediately. It is the worst thing that is possible. So this is the third one.
So when you say devil's herb...
Right there, devil's herb.
So when you say devil's herb, it's just weed, right?
No, I want you to read Virgil's line.
Cilantro. Oh my god.
Do not speak its name. It makes shudder just
Oh,
thinking about the disgusting soapy flavor.
Oh, so she just fucking hates cilantro. Okay, understood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's like, this is the cilantro. It's like, I don't care. Wow.
Okay. So all of the evidence that we can gather flashes briefly.
Mm.
So we were told that the two generators is fried through some sort of etheric discharge. This is a really fun game. Unfortunately, it only has the 3 cases. I would have really liked having more. So what we're going to be trying to do is try to figure out how each object fits into either contradicting or confirming the alibis that we're told. Alright, so we just have a couple more things to check out before...
Is this a hard game?
I had a lot of difficulty with it because I kept overlooking simple things. The tutorial... I think the tutorial could have been a little bit better, but I don't know how. It could just be my own... I'm just not smart. Here. Yep. So we found a cybernetic remains, and there's the body. Stabbed through the chest. He went out just like Dio, because everything goes back to JoJo's.
Jeez.
So we first found out about the spear in the first mission. You can find out that Augustine had asked Reuben to craft the spear. And what Augustine was doing in the second mission was trying to find an ancient hymn that he found on the grave. The thing is, that grave was for the grave that he found was for someone who was deemed a heretic and had been burned 100 years ago. So what was he doing with that ancient hymn, right? You also find out the reason that the lady ate the liver is because she went through a harsh famine. And she did what she had to do to live. Alright, so we can talk to Gideon, Virgil, or Augustine. Anyone you want to talk to first?
I guess Gideon, I don't know.
This can't be happening. Yet another death? Am I to be blamed again?
Calm yourself, Gideon.
Whoever voices Gideon sounds familiar.
I don't think this game is on behind the voice actors, but it should be on IMDb if you want to look it up.
Okay.
At the start of the night, I was waiting near the organ.
So what we can do is that it shows us basically their interpretation of the events.
Okay.
And if you notice that we have no corroboration, no one can say if this happened or not, and we have no specificity. So it's not specific. He just said he is waiting by the organ.
Okay.
When the mass began, I played the entry hymn on the organ. I think I played well enough, though I didn't have much time to practice it.
So this one we have physicality that helps corroborate this because we confirmed that the organ was played.
Okay.
After the opening hymn, I listened to Abbot Gregory's sermon. It was a pretty good one.
See, so we can see things from his point of view, basically, from the stuff that he was able to directly see, which is with that line of sight, and then there's things that he would have to. He's basically telling us what his intuition is, which we'll see when we get to the knocked unconscious part.
Okay.
You see, he imagined somebody attacked him from behind,
I fell unconscious until just now.
and then there's nothing for the rest of his.
IMDb just shows that this game is his only credit. Guess he just sounds similar to someone else.
Yeah. Well, that's everything that he can tell us. He said he waited by the organ, he played the hymn, he heard the sermon. Let's see what Augustine says.
Ah, poor Abbot Gregory. We had such hopes and plans together.
The voice casted really well, by the way.
If only he had listened to your sage advice, Sister Ada. Perhaps he would be safe now,
Augustine was the one who put the abbot against us, by the way.
Oh, okay.
You. I cannot ignore that you are the link. Everything that has happened today points back to you, Augustine.
It must be a tragic coincidence. The abbot was my friend and trusted ally. I wished him no harm.
He's got a voice that no matter what he says, you want to think that he's telling you a lie.
Explain your actions. What were you doing on the balcony?
With Mother Miriam's passing, Abbot Gregory needed someone to ring the ritual bell. I volunteered. It was an honor.
Okay, so we're going to see what
The
he says
abbot,
he did now.
Virgil and I arrived at the chapel just before the Mass. When I headed to my seat for the Mass to begin, I was rather excited for the proceedings.
The start to move through time and start to go away from time thing reminds me of other time travel games we played.
We sure play a lot of time travel games, I guess.
Yeah, if we look in the upper right, he vaguely saw Virgil.
Huh.
So that's another thing you can do is that if you pay attention to everything that's happening, you can sort of
We began by singing the
get an
hymn
idea of
communion.
what's real or not real.
It was glorious.
So now we have corroboration on what Gideon says. You see how it turned gold?
Yeah.
When the sermon started, I headed to the balcony to prepare to ring the bell. I rang the bell to announce the start of communion. I noticed Gideon was absent from the other balcony, but didn't think much of it at the time.
So with that, we can
I rang the
assume
bell a second
that
time.
when Gideon said he got knocked out is the truth, because Augustine didn't see him on the other balcony.
Suddenly, the lights went out and the chapel was covered in darkness. I stood calmly by the bell, waiting for someone to fix the problem. Moments later, the statue dropped from the ceiling.
That's so violent. What a way to die.
And I saw the abbot impaled by the statue. I'll never forget that image. That's when Virgil arrested me.
Okay. So now we're going to get Virgil's testimony. And then we can start looking for contradictions. And then we can start asking about the physical evidence to try and figure more things out. Our goal is to catch someone in a lie.
Okay. Just like Phoenix Wright.
Yeah.
We arrived shortly before the Mass began.
Inquisitor, prepare.
As you command. I began my patrol by securing the east side of the balcony. I saw Gideon examining the ritual bell.
So it's interesting. He says he saw Gideon examining the bell, but Gideon says that he was waiting by the organ. So what we can do is that we can use his testimony to challenge Gideon to see if he admits to a lie or not.
Then, I patrolled the south balcony. Everything appeared to be in order, so I ended my patrol and watched over the chapel from the south balcony. As I heard the ritual bell ring for the second time, the lights went out. I suspected foul play, so I headed towards the west generator. Along the way, I discovered Gideon lying unconscious.
Alright, so that can help us to know that Gideon was knocked out. So we have couple of pieces of evidence to suggest that.
To protect the remaining generator, I ran towards the east balcony. Along the way, I heard an explosion.
Then the statue drops.
Then, the
Ooh,
statue's
boy.
aether restraints deactivated.
It's so violent.
I'm sure he's fine.
He might be fine.
Rest in peace.
You know, depending on where he stabbed, I don't know, he got half a statue on him as well.
Smirking at the carnage he caused.
Alright,
I arrested him
so
there and
here's another contradiction. He says that he arrested Augustine at the balcony, but Augustine said he waited by the bell. So first we're going to switch over to Gideon.
Okay.
When the ritual of communion began, someone attacked me.
We're going
At the
to
start of the night, I was
contradict
waiting near
him
the organ.
with Virgil's testimony.
Interesting. Maybe the attack damaged my memory. Shut up.
It's actually interesting because when you first saw Gideon, he was extremely certain in everything he said and did. He was arrogant and prideful as hell. He did not commit a murder, but in fact, you learn that he was a skeptic. He doesn't fully believe in the religious side of this. So to have him say, I don't recall, that's kind of a big thing. You know, what is he trying to hide? See, now that this is very different now.
Given the tragic events of this morning, I examined the condition of the east generator to ensure the safety of the chapel. Next, I checked the ritual bell. As I was doing this, I saw Inquisitor Virgil gazing at the altar.
Now, it's interesting, because he says he saw Virgil gazing at the altar, but... You know, Virgil said that he was patrolling. That might be a potential contradiction.
I knew Mass was about to begin, so I headed back to the organ.
So this is everything new that he can tell us. But here's the important thing, and this is why it took me so long to do this. Do you see that his head is shining now?
Yeah? What's up with that?
Anytime that you catch someone in a lie, it exposes a truth about them.
Huh.
And I constantly forgot to hit this goddamn button. See? He's got shattered confidence now. And we can go to physiology and see that. In fact, we can ask him about his own confidence. That's kind of sad. I feel bad for Gideon. So the second thing we can do is we can go to Augustine
When I headed to my seat for the I saw the abbot
and
impaled by
contradict
the statue.
him with the arrest.
I'll never
If I'm going too fast, let me know.
No, I get it.
Or if you want to figure something. If you
no,
want to figure something.
we would be
okay.
here all day.
Yeah. Let's try to knock this out in an hour.
I don't
I'll split it
even.
up to
I don't even
30.
want to talk about how long it took me to like get through most cases in Phoenix Wright, because I'm just guessing most of the time. Never even finished a single Professor Layton game because I'm stupid.
You're not dumb. You think in a different way. All right. So now we can break in. Let's first hear the thing he has to say.
When I saw the abbot impaled by the statue. On the other balcony, I could see someone looking down at the altar. That's when Virgil arrested me.
So that's interesting. He said he saw someone at the other balcony, but that can only be Gideon, right?
Yeah.
Now let's not forget. I almost forgot to hit his head to see his thing. Oh, he's got pride.
Really? It was like, I was gonna say pride, arrogance.
That's potentially a clue. Because here's our demons. We have Lucifer, who does the pride. We have Beelzebub the gluttonous, who talks with that voice where they put that filter on it to make it slightly like the voice like this.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's kind of disgusting. Lotan was the most fun to talk to. He is like a sassy gay friend.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, that it has to be a demon.
And Sathanas the Vengeful is just pure anger. That means anger. So, all right. Well, this leads us to new information. We found out that he's prideful, duh. But most importantly, we find out something about. I mean, that can only be Gideon, right?
When the ritual of communion began, someone attacked me from
So
behind.
we'll contradict him
I fell unconscious.
with the present at balcony. Oh, he's trying to do the good thing.
When the ritual of communion began, someone attacked me from behind. I fell unconscious until just now. And sometime later, I woke up in darkness. I realized that one of the power generators must have been disabled.
Now, this is interesting. This is something I did not see the first time I played through. I just never got this piece
So
of
I headed
evidence.
to the west power generator and inspected it. It was completely fried. There was nothing I could do to restore it. As I was inspecting the generator, an explosion from the east balcony. Then the statue dropped from the ceiling. What? I peered over the balcony to see Abbot Gregory was impaled by the statue's spear.
Oh.
He was killed. I wish I'd been unconscious.
I feel really bad for Gideon.
It's all this man's guilty of so far is just he's kind of like a pompous jerk.
Yeah. Very different than the way that Augustine's a pompous jerk, though. Look
Yeah.
at the icon for that.
Wow.
Oh, I feel really bad. He's terrified of his involvement with another murder. You know what? I'm glad he's still got a little bit of that arrogance left. I'm happy for him. Okay. So there's something in
I checked the ritual bell as I was.
Virgil's
I began
patrol
my
the east
patrol by
gallery?
securing the east side of the balcony.
Because it may
I
not
saw
check with
Gideon
this.
examine
I don't remember. Yeah. Because he said that he was where he wasn't said that he was. That sentence made sense. Don't argue. Oh, because he saw Gregory up here. He saw Virgil up here, not where Virgil said he was. How do you like the aesthetics of this game?
I like the art style.
The art style is great. Alright, so now we have eavesdrop from
I went
balcony.
up the balcony, but I listened in on the Abbot and Augustine. I think they were discussing the ritual of communion. I was suspicious of Augustine, but I continued my duties by continuing my patrol.
Alright. Our man Virgil has wrath.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of terrifying, actually.
Yeah. Strong innate sense of justice. Virgil, you might be going a little bit too far, my dude. Now, I don't think anything actually contradicts each other that we can find from the evidence we have on the board, which means that we need to start asking about the physical evidence. So an important thing about Gideon,
I knew Mass was about to begin, so I headed back to the organ.
is that he's a cyber technician, right?
Okay.
And earlier we found cybernetic remains. So we're going to ask him about these remains. So we got two new pieces of physical evidence. An Inquisitor arm. Which can only be used by Inquisitor. And a remote operation. So that's kind of big, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Because we only really know one Inquisitor. But first, we can actually fuck with Augustine.
When I headed to my seat for the Mass to begin, I was rather excited for the proceedings.
Tell us your lies, Augustine.
At the altar, the Abbot and I discussed the ritual significance of the Mass tonight. When I headed to my seat for the Mass to begin, I was rather excited for the proceedings.
And of course, we gotta look at the Mind Palace. So when I did this the first thing, I kept telling myself, because before I got that arm evidence, I'm like, hey, Virgil looks like he's missing an arm now. Like I noted that in his character model, and I'm like, the whole time I'm like, I hope it's not Virgil. I like Virgil. Oh, sorry, I clicked past his thing. His thing was the ritual of communion. Aren't all the statues of Einsoft women?
Of what?
Oh, he called Einsoft a him.
I mean, I don't know. I just came in here.
So he says that there's basically a thinning of the walls between like the realities, and by using that communion, they're able to talk to Einsoft directly. Which sounds a lot like we're going to talk to devils directly, because they started happening when Augustine got here. So, yep. So all we're missing is something from Virgil.
I went up the balcony, but I listened in on the Abbot and Augustine. I think they were discussing the ritual of
Okay. So since it's interesting, he said he went to find Gideon, right?
So I headed
Yeah.
towards the west
But Gideon said he woke up on his
the way,
own.
I discovered Gideon lying unconscious.
So now we have a conflict.
I suspected foul
So
play.
Gideon says
So I headed
he
towards
woke
the
up,
west generator.
but Virgil
Along the
says
way,
that never
I
happened.
discovered Gideon
So we're
lying
going to switch over to Gideon
Sometime later, I woke up in darkness.
and contradict
I
him with
realized
that
one of the
evidence.
power generators must have been
Conflict revealed. Interesting.
It's a neat mechanic. I really, because we got this. The conflict revealed is what we got in the second case. But this game only has the 3 cases.
after the opening hymn.
So we're still missing
Everything
something with
appeared to be in
Gregory.
order, so I ended my patrol and watched over the chapel from the south balcony.
But I kind of forget how we get his other thing. Technically, we don't actually need to get the last Mind Palace open. Because I can't remember how to get to it. Because what we could also do is use the pieces of evidence to contradict what people said.
Everything appeared to be
But
in order, so I ended my patrol and watched over the chapel from the south balcony.
yeah. So this was an accident. This is how I solved a lot of the game, Max.
Wow. Just like Phoenix
Right.
Wright. Look,
Professor-
let's be real. A lot of it's just like pressing buttons and guessing.
Yeah.
Though to be fair, I did actually try with Great Ace Attorney. I haven't finished the game, but I was actually trying.
Yeah, this is why I kind of wish that I hadn't lost. Well, I still have the recording, but it doesn't have any audio. And this game needs its audio. You
Yeah.
can tell that, right? Like the
Yeah,
audio, the ambient music, the sound effects. Like you kind of need that. I
But-
really like because I figured it out. Like I legitimately figured it out.
look, I mean, it's about religion, and you kind of need the ambient music, background noises when you're dealing with religion.
So this I did figure out, the arm,
Uh-huh.
but getting whipping up into conflict, I did not get on my first playthrough. I was able to clock Virgil really quickly, honestly, because he was one of the people who gave testimony in this case, and anyone who gives testimony is a potential murderer. Look, it's gone.
Wow.
Ada is so upset. I was so upset. Virgil is my boy. He's the guy that you talk to get little hints for what to do next.
Everything appeared to be in order, so I ended my patrol and watched over the chapel from the south balcony.
Alright. So he says that he was attacked around the time that
Focusing on the altar.
Augustine was going
Bastard
up.
was able to sneak up on me. He knocked me out with a blow to the back of my head.
The thing is that we kind of know that can't happen because we have the bell ringing, right?
Yeah.
We know the bell rang at that specific time.
When I woke up, everything was dark. I also discovered that my left arm was missing.
Yeah, the problem is that with everything else that we know and the stuff that is confirmed to be true, like when I briefly played this, I thought maybe someone stole his arm to ring the bell, but you get far enough in and you're like, Virgil, why did you lie to me? All right, what's his second Nine Palace thing?
You keep telling lies, boy.
He's a zealot.
Wow.
Yeah, we couldn't have told that before. So the interesting thing is that you can ask everyone about everything. Like I could ask him about Augustine's pride, and they'll just say I don't know about that. I could ask him about Abbot Gregory. That's a really funny thing to say about a man who just died.
Jesus.
He died, but what if God wanted him to be dead? Did you consider that?
That sounds about right for religion. Yeah.
Hey pals, we're just taking a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll do the second half of this case. See you next time.